Today we're going to talk about the Rega Planar 3 turntable setup. If you bought the cartridge installed on your Planar 3 from your dealer, then it's probably just ready to plug and play. But if you're like me and you want to upgrade the cartridge to something better, you'd have to reset your tone arm settings and the table. But I'm going to show you how easy it is, provided you stay within the Rega family. And in this case, I went up from a LS MM to a Ania MC, and I'm going to demonstrate how easy it is to set that up. First, we have to make sure that the platform you're using is flat. So get yourself one of these bubbles, a carpenter level, or use the app on your phone and make sure that the surface is flat, absolutely flat. Second, you of course pop off the old cartridge and you plug in the new cartridge. In this case is the Ania, and you can see it's got the color coding in the back. If the video is not clear, I'll put a picture up as well. So you would simply insert these leads gently but firmly into place according to the color scheme. It's really pretty easy. You can do this, if you've done this many times, you can do this by hand, or you can use tweezers as well, or some sort of a tool that's gentle enough not to break the terminals or damage the terminals, and that's useful to push the leads in place. Get in there, buddy. Okay, they're in place. Nice and firm. Then here comes the simplicity. 3 screws, guys. That's all. And they're already threaded in. They just sink in place. And the advantage of this is that you do not need to set the overhang or mess with any protractor settings. Don't over tighten it, but just make sure it's snug. That's set in place. Now let's talk about the tone arm setup. So the next step here is to make sure that your anti-skate is set to 0, and this rotary knob here is also at its 0 point. No force is being applied to the tone arm. And with the tone arm in place here, remove any stylus guard that you may have. Your next step is to 0 balance the tone arm, and I mean you have to move your counterweight outwards or inwards so that the tone arm floats free and is not touching any part of the turntable. This may take a few seconds, but have patience and move in very small increments, and you should be able to achieve this here. Once that's done, lock it in place here. this dial here to what you want the force to be. In this case, I want 2 grams. That's about it. Maybe it's slightly over, but now you're ready to pretty much play records now. The other setting here is anti-skate. Now, what is anti-skate? Anti-skate is the external force applied to the tone arm to counteract the tendency of the tone arm. The natural tendency of the tone arm while the record's spinning is to go inward towards the spindle. This applies, the anti-skate applies the opposite force, so the stylus gets balanced in the walls of the groove, equal balance on the left wall and the right wall of the record groove. So anti-skate is quite important, and it's very easy here to set in this tone arm. You just push that to about the equal value of the tracking force. With that set, now it's time to verify that your vertical tracking force is indeed where you want it to be. So I'm using this very simple digital readout gauge force. Make sure that the gauge force is set to 0. In case there is another reading besides 0, you'd have to press the tar button. But also please follow the instructions that come with your force gauge to make sure it's calibrated. The good ones usually come with small weights from 1 to 5 grams, so you're sure that your reading is pretty accurate. Okay, after you take your tone arm from the rest, make sure your tone arm Q is up, your Q lift is up in the up position. Get it about there, and bring the tone arm lift down. It should gently fall in place, and your reading is exactly 2 grams. Oh, slightly more, but that's okay. That's about it, guys. And if you like, this template should have come, the cartridge alignment protractor should have come with the turntable. You can check the overhang and it'll be pretty much dead on. Okay, the cartridge alignment protractor is in place on the spindle, and the instructions are quite simple. You place the needle gently on the cross mark here, and if adjustments need to be made, they would need to be made to make sure that the sides of the body of the cartridge are aligned with those lines, parallel to those lines, and perpendicular from here. I didn't have to do anything. That's the nice thing about upgrading within the Rega family. The 3-point fixing of the cartridge to the tone arm gives you the exact location. No need to fuss around with any other protractor settings. So that's it, guys. The table is ready to play music, and that's what I'm going to do for a while, and then I'm going to come back and tell you how much of an upgrade the Ania MC is over the Ellis. Thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe and watch my other video about the Planar 3 with the MM cartridge setup, LS MM cartridge setup. Thanks.